Sunday morning in Amarillo, Texas. Another beautiful, cool, breezy morning, kind that'll just like make it perfect to get on the road. Don't need air conditioning, just beautiful way to get underway in the morning. Going to make it into New Mexico here in a little bit once I leave here. A lot of stuff in New Mexico looks like it's that's coming up. Abandoned places, more motels and gas stations. I know I've taken a bunch of pictures of those already, and unless something is profound, I'm not going to waste your time to put more of those in my videos. But there are a couple of things that look like they might be fun, so I will see if I can find them. Two more stops here on the way out of Texas to get my book stamped. Looks like one is closed on Sundays. We'll see. Looks like the other one is open. But we'll find out, That's like I said, the leave out of here in the morning, I'm driving west, and that's about all I know, and we see what we discover on the road, what comes up and what doesn't. It's kind of the fun of this. It's just like, no schedule, no have to make it here by, before we can stop for the night. That's where my reservation is. None of that mess. It's just leisure. It's just leisure and enjoyment. And for nobody that has not taken that type of vacation, I highly recommend it. Very, very, very rejuvenating. Made it down to the Milburn Price Culture Museum in Vega, Texas. This would be the next place I could get stamped. And they are closed on Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately. However, seeing as everything is bigger in Texas, here is the world's largest branding iron. I know, right? Time for another Wisdom of Glenn section. So, where I always say, walk around, you never know what you might find. So, I called Greg, and he told me how to get my passport stamped. Yeah, so Greg has got a little deal set up where on the weekends when he's closed, he's got a stamp available. I'm not going to divulge his secrets. If you come here, you're going to have to call him, just like I did. And it works. Okay, so I was really pleased to discover that. Now, off to the side of the museum is a mural, and I have no idea what the heck that is that it's painted on, but it's got a ramp going up to it, so I'm going to find out. Well, there is nobody here to ask. Hell, there's an echo in this thing. But I would wager to guess that this is one of the blades from one of them windmills. Yeah, if I look on the other side without the mural, I feel pretty confident with that guess. Well, I will say one thing about Texas. When they make a statue of a bull, they include all the details. Okay, along the main drag here is the actual Milburn Price Culture Museum sign, and another bull that is also anatomically correct. So here's a totally different gas station. Magnolia Gasoline. And this is directly across from the giant bull. Have made it to the official midpoint of Route 66. In fact, it is officially marked midpoints on the highway. And there's a set of these on either side of the line. Just had to stop at the midpoint and get a second breakfast like a hobbit. There's just something about the place, you have to stop. And this is another one of those genuine 66 eateries I have been seeking out. Again, the case of pie. Lots of 66 memorabilia. Almost missed this at the Midpoint Cafe. So 66 is merged with 40 right after the midpoint. And this is what I call a welcome into a new state. And there's also a sign there letting you know to change time zones. So, welcome to New Mexico. My first sign I have seen in New Mexico. Definitely a very, very different landscape here in New Mexico. Coming into my first views the mesas in New Mexico. Going down the road a bit more, a much clearer shot of that first mesa I saw. Don't know why the sight of that thing just affects me the way it does. I've seen pictures, but until you see one pop out of the landscape for real, it's just a whole different thing. Believe I have to correct myself. That is not a mesa. That is actually a mountain. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But yeah, it wasn't just me. It got a lot of people's attention apparently. So weird thing I am seeing frequently in New Mexico on Route 66, and I have no idea about any of it. There's signs that say cattle guard. And then there's these things across the road. And there are fences on the side, so I guess this somehow is going to keep cattle from walking down the road. If anybody has any idea what this is about, please let me know. Well, looked at the map and saw it wasn't that far. And figured, when the hell am I going to be in New Mexico again? So here we are in Roswell. I've always wanted to see it. Okay, that is one you will never see on Route 66. We are here. Okay. Exhibits here are chronological. From July 2nd to the 3rd, we've got some recorded depositions and testimony of people involved. And then we go around through July. And some of the era's military communication equipment. That, for people who have heard of them but never seen one, is a teletype. And the rest of this Kind of goes into science fiction. Alien autopsy display. Close encounters of the first, second, third kind. And displays on alien implants. And they do have a research library. Shelves loaded with, I'm sure, inspirational tomes. Pretty much like the Casey Riley library, err on the side of being inclusive. Equally impressive collection of periodicals, along with many, many binders of UFO research collections. And there are a series of UFO articles from newspapers. Well, in a way, I'm glad I came down here to see what Roswell actually is in 2023 as compared to the image I've had of it in my mind. I forget which comedian said, whatever year your family immigrated to the United States is the year that the old country will forever remain in your parents' mind. I'm kind of seeing that now. Roswell is way different from the way I remember it being reported. But I do have to stop in this business called Hecate's Cave and see what's there. This is just absolutely amazing. I've been to sea many times with the Navy, and I'm used to seeing water going to the horizon. For some reason, when you see it with land, it's just a little different. It's another view in New Mexico. Just endless open plains all the way to the horizon. It is so beautiful. Another perfect night, another perfect dinner. The Silver Moon, the New Mexican Silver Moon Cafe in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. Amazing food. In fact, it has been around since '59 and it is an official historical landmark on 66. Good evening from Santa Rosa, New Mexico. It has been a wildly exciting day. Started off beautiful this morning. Got on the road, no trouble, was able to follow into New Mexico, no trouble. Again, highway kind of switches back and forth. Parts of it go onto I-40 for short distances, where the old road is, for whatever reason, no longer there. So it was pretty exciting. One thing I will say, for the record, if you're driving 66 or any kind of country road, and there's lots of twists and turns in it, be really cautious, because you can come around one of those twists and turns and there's going to be a very large deer standing at the road looking like, who the hell are you? Thank God for good brakes. Came pretty close. Let's see, this area has been having a lot of problems with rain. One little old 64 passage under the main highway had probably maybe a good inch of mud in it. Thank God it was very short, but I got through it. Standing water in the road again. Road was mostly dry, but one low spot made me stop and double check and get through it. But that was more on the eastern part of New Mexico. Once I got into New Mexico, the Welcome Center, I'm looking at their maps. Lady there was really helpful. Just love to talk, love to share stuff about New Mexico. Truly is the land of enchantment. I noticed on the map, oh, there's Roswell. We all know what happened there. And hey, if I follow 66, Santa, yeah, right down. It's about 120 miles. So, seeing as I have no idea whenever I will have this opportunity again, I detoured down to Roswell, New Mexico, for a very unexpected and very interesting detour. Came back up to Santa Rosa after I saw Roswell, and then I found out something. The hotel that I booked, which is a chain I have stayed at many times, and called it up on my phone. The site I was at looked like theirs. Thing I booked for $143 a night for the room. When I looked at my phone, I had been charged $208, and I was like, WTF? So when I get to the hotel, I asked the gentleman there at the desk, and he says, yeah. He says, when those come up, they may look like our website. They may look like the website of whatever hotel chain you're booking at. He says, but they're not. You got to make sure that you actually book through the website of the actual company of the actual chain. And like for Holiday Inn Express, it's IHG, which I've seen. How many times out there in Hurricane in West Virginia have I stayed and made reservations at that hotel. So, but this site looked pretty much like theirs on my phone. So basically it wound up costing me $50, but I did learn a valuable lesson, and I will not make that mistake again. Other sites I was on, like for some of the other hotels, hotels.com and stuff, they were up front. I knew who it was, but these people were, just not good players. The gentleman at the desk was telling me, yeah, sometimes, well, if people come in and they've got a room booked through, they thought it was us, and we get there and we're full. We don't have their reservation. So really, if you're traveling, I would make sure that you actually have the websites for the chains that you want to stay at already bookmarked, and only go through those. Do not Google hotels near me. Had an amazing dinner tonight. So I've had just really good luck here on a really good lucky streak with food. So that kind of softens the hotel adventures a little bit. Going to work on the video, get that uploaded. I am pretty much exhausted. Most of what I've seen since coming into New Mexico has been what I was expecting to find, according to what I had seen on the apps, which is lots of abandoned gas stations, lots of abandoned hotels. Basically, when 66 got decommissioned, everything, 99% of what was along it just died. People left, and the buildings fell into great disrepair, and there's been nothing to come along to revitalize them. Of course, there's nothing around. There was 66. It's kind of like the old coal towns. The mine is, the mine, stops producing, the company pulls out, and the mining town dries up. So it's really sad, and it's kind of, says a lot about, America. Hey, we don't care about your lives. We just want to get there faster. So I'm going to work on the video, get a really good night's sleep, and start out tomorrow morning fresh and see what tomorrow brings. Have a great day. Bye.